Sweet. So, Teens in Space, part of Star Wars Saturdays. Star Wars Saturdays anthology game where we play all kinds of different games set in Star Wars, except we don't run any officially licensed Star Wars games because there's a world of RPGs and a galaxy of them long, long ago. Teens in Space is a game from in the kids on bikes genre of like style. I don't know. It's from the folks that did Kids on Bikes. It's a pretty fun game that's kind of a trendy game. We are working through character creation and everyone is about to introduce their characters, and then we're going to work through some how you became a crew, although I think we are pretty far along on those as well. So let's go from right to left on the character keeper. Sherry, introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
My name is Sherry, and I use the she, her pronouns. My character's name is Marce, and she's human. Her species drawback is that she's restless. So I think that means that if I don't get out and flying within a week, I do something impulsive and silly. So like just take off. Hopefully we'll just be flying all over the place, so it won't be a problem. My fatal flaw is that I desperately long to be dashing. And my role that I chose was captain. And she's the youngest of a very large shipping family that does like sort of all the cargo movement and short hops and things like that. And so she does know a lot about coordinating flights and getting between places and has contacts. However, other than that, she's maybe not the best choice for flying the ship itself. But she's very confident that she can do this. And let's see here, and that's mostly it, except that her improvement is that she is lucky, which sounds excellent for her. So is that all that you need?
That is good enough. Yeah, lucky is you spend one adversity token to reroll a stat check, and everything that we do is pretty much stat checks. Stats are a die type, and you roll it. You have a bonus for fight, so you always get a +1 to that total. That is a species related thing, and then with that lucky, you can spend the adversity token. It looks like we start with 0, and you can re-roll. So we'll quickly get you some adversity tokens, no problem. Sabine, if you can introduce your character and tell us yourself and your character. I appreciate it.
Yeah. My name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I'm going to play Syra Tarvo, who is a Cygerian by birth, who was found as a little child by a group of mercenary pirate liberators. They were part of a mercenary guild, but they went along and liberated all kinds of stuff. I mean, they weren't precisely bounty hunters, but you use the bounty hunter if you want to get a single guy out of a prison. If you want a whole prison raised, you use the mercs. So she grew up with lots of parental figures, I guess, who told her all kinds of things, really. Her main parental figure was some Weequay, who was a smuggler and then sort of a rebel pilot for some reason. And well, she's a hitchhiker, which means that she's just drifting around because, I mean, she doesn't have anything like a stable family or anything. She's pretty used to being on her own. She's mouthy and she's curious. She's insatiably curious. As a Cygerian, she usually would be very prideful and get on of everybody insulting her, but I mean, she's basically a pirate, so who cares about people insulting her? She can just insult them back, and she's better. At least she thinks she's better. Her improvement is nerves of steel. So, because, I mean, her life was pretty exciting. Like, if you run around with mercs a lot, that stuff is bound to happen. So she's not really faced by catastrophes or anything.
Just so I know, this Weequay is Grask, Tarvo?
Yeah. Of
Okay,
course.
awesome. I thought so. Just making sure. That's delightful and wonderful. Great. Great, great, great. Good stuff. Okay. Greg, introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Greg. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Karwu Pol, who also uses he, him pronouns. He is a Celestin. They are Lando's co-pilot in Return of the Jedi during the Battle of Endor is a Celestin. That would be Nien Num. Uh, the Celestins are sort of an industrious species in Star Wars canon. Karwu Pol comes from that background, but he himself really doesn't think of himself that way. He wants to see the galaxy and explore his other options. He does have the fatal flaw of being a little overdramatic at times. Things get to him. He can, throw a hissy fit with the best of them. His species drawback is that he's a tech expert, which means he has to he's challenged to not tinker with things. He's always taking things apart on the ship. I think we've established the ship was at least brought online by Karwu. It's an ancient, maybe Clone Wars ship, ? We'll get there. And Karwu got it working. I'm thinking he probably functions as the mechanic. He's probably a little dramatic about that because he, like Zara, is also better at flying the ship than our captain. He is, let's see, the improvements I took were skilled at creating and repairing technology, which is pretty straightforward building stuff. I also took utility belt, which kind of is a quantum backpack of useful things.
Are we doing improvements already? Because I thought we did that after.
Oh, well, I guess we can.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I mean,
It's all right.
I just don't. I have some that I have my eyes on, so it's
Good.
fine.
Gotcha.
But
That's the only one I took. And yeah, I think that mostly covers Karwu.
Cool. Yeah, so we are to that point where we have introduced characters, and now we can talk through. Right, our next thing is got a fail flaw, and that items. Yeah, there is a part in the introduce yourself thing that I copied over. It says items, although you haven't spent character points. You've got a space backpack in this, but I didn't find where there's a cost listing, and I'm very happy that I didn't actually. So I'm pretty excited that you just say you have stuff, I guess, unless you take it as a character improvement, then that can also count for some things. Do you guys want to do a few improvement talk, and then we'll do crew creation conversation?
Sure. Sounds good.
we can spend the improvement points on either our character or on our ship, right?
You can, correct.
Okay, cool. So I'll keep some left to push towards the ship.
I'm sorry, Rich, could you give me the link to the folder, with all the docs in it?
Absolutely.
Do not seem to.
Oh, no problem. Let me link that to you. Actually, I'll send it to your email, and then I'll link it in the chat real quick.
Thank you. I apologize.
No problem. No problem. It happens when you have a bajillion emails.
Oh yay!
More stuff's going up. Oh, I think I'm getting in this one.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
For future me, we are talking about the Star Wars Saturday Special Edition game that was just posted as we're making characters and stuff. That looks cool.
You just beat me to it. Damn.
Maybe I'll drop out for you. Hold on.
No, you don't have to. It's fine. You should play some Star Wars. You should get to do that because you're always running.
Thank you. I mean, I did get to play the Trophy Dark Incursion you ran, so there's that.
It's true. It's true.
I was rereading. I'm losing all my books.
Oh my goodness.
I was rereading this, and the section on Dagobah is actually written from the perspective of an Old Republic survey team that's sent there. It's a straight-up Trophy Dark Incursion all the way through.
Oh
the
my
animals
goodness.
are eating their food. There's some light body horror. The trees are alive. Yeah, it's. I'm gonna lift it straight out of the book at some point and do it.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm just gonna keep it recording, even though we're just mostly buying.
Are we avoiding overlap in character improvements? I don't want to step on somebody's cool thing.
Yeah. I think we should not all be
Okay.
hot. I just wondered if you would mind if I would took the hotshot pilot stuff.
I'm good with that.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, you say it's okay.
Okay. I didn't hear that because my ear fell off. My earpiece, not my ear.
I know.
Obviously.
Obviously, God.
My ear doesn't usually fall off a lot.
You can be very teen in your reactions now and try to gain character. Oh, God. By the way, the reason I had to wake up my son was that at 9 o'clock our time is when Minecraft Steve has been released to Nintendo's Super Smash Bros. And he sat up and said, "I'm going to be the Apex Minecraft Steve." Wants to go downstairs and practice.
That's excellent.
I think it's hilarious.
One. I'm taking Spirited Motivator. Karwoo doesn't always believe in himself, but he believes in others.
That's very dreamer.
I'm thinking Goody Two Shoes, just because he comes from a shipping family and is fairly well known around. So that's essentially, we can get help if we need it from the law enforcement. And
Which
then,
in our timeline is, New Republic, probably,
okay,
in case you end up in some Imperial entanglements in the few areas that are still controlled by ex-Imperials.
and I was thinking of Protector. So
I thought of having some kind of the flip side of the goody two shoes, troublemaker. I mean, I know a lot of these. This mercenary guild thingy they're pretty widespread. They're not usually law enforcement. They're not criminals per se, maybe, but they're not all that law abiding either.
So Rich, the improvement I want isn't on here.
Okay.
I'm thinking of reskinning Escape Artist. It would be something like when Karwoo attempts to disguise or I'm leaning towards into that Celestins are also cosmetologists who are really good barbers and all of that. Just like it's a base +3 bonus to those activities.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
I've just rephrased the troublemaker. You know.
Unbound Mercenary Guild.
Yeah. They might actually be already in your universe.
If they aren't, they're going up now.
They are. Quake was a member of them when Dave ran the Bounty of the Week game.
Oh, nice. Right. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just digging into the past of all my former characters here.
Do all of them. Like all the super canon, Sabine canon.
I don't think she knows the dolls, though.
Oh, okay. I just want to say, Zyra is an incredible pilot. You're rolling a d20 with a +1 bonus, actually a +3 bonus. Wow. You are real good. This is going to be a super swingy game because you're basically just rolling a single die against the difficulty. It's interesting. I spent an inordinate time this morning importing a galaxy map into the character keeper and then trying to line up the rows and columns so that you could refer to them via the spreadsheet instead of the actual picture. I really think it was a waste of time. I don't know why I kept playing with it. It was very silly. And again, you don't have to spend all of your character improvements. Just let me know when you're close. Got a thumbs up from Greg.
Yep, I'm all done.
Awesome.
I've got one question because there's the skilled at something improvement. So instead of a hotshot pilot, I could say I'm skilled at flying spaceships and even get a higher bonus, right?
You could, yes.
And I will.
Oh my goodness.
Totally will.
And this is why I'm like, oh man, the ship rules are interesting. I will need help.
I'm excited that Sabine is min-maxing their character.
Oh, I'm
excited.
There's some stuff.
I mean, D20 is basically nice, but you know, having a little extra something is even nicer.
That's true. And one thing to
they
keep
won't
in mind,
explode that much. Because this is the game where the dice explodes.
yes,
right?
they do. They do explode. Yeah. And all your dice explode. Your stat check dice explode, which is really cool. There are two types of actions you can take. A planned action, and that's one where you have a chance to think about the best outcome or whatever. And the cool thing about that one is, in a planned action, you can take half of your dice value and just say, that's what I got. It's kind of like taking 20 in a way. And back in the third edition D&D, I think take 20 was when I first heard that phrase. So it gives you the ability to say, no, we have some time. I'm good at this. I just do it with this level of goodness. And then snap decisions are the ones where you have to roll dice and hopefully things go well. Cool. All right, let's move on through character creation. We've got our fatal flaw, answered questions. Now we're to answer questions about our crew. This is fun. I'm very excited about this one. So, how did your crew meet? I think I'm going to just write the answer in to our character creation document because why not?
Okay. I don't know.
It sounds like Karwu found this ship.
I kind of think Carwood tried to bring the ship to the station, and because it was old and weird, and all of that stuff, it got a lot of attention. And I think that was probably the two of us showed up in the crowd to see what was being brought in.
I think
Something like that.
yeah, I think it limped to the station. It's I like that. It's sort of the old beater car that's making a terrible noise as it pulls into the mechanic, and everyone comes out to take a look. Yeah,
Backfiring and all those things.
yeah.
Because the fuel's older than old.
Maybe there was some kind of trouble, and we kind of decided, Mar and Zara decided that, well, no, we help this guy with this ship and try to get away from all this trouble.
So you're fleeing something on a space station that you're dodging the authorities.
Yeah.
I wonder if Karwu even knows, or is just happy to have the company.
I mean, it's a nice ship, and it's a challenge to fly it, but I can do it. Fly anything.
And we believe you, because you said so.
Well, yeah. Why would I lie?
Exactly.
Cool. Sorry, I got a question about the special edition, so I was trying to answer that very quickly. Sweet. So you, Marseille and Zyra, saw it at the station. I think we should probably name the station.
Yeah, where are we at?
We want to say that this is somewhere near like an actual like Sullust, or do you think it's in some Sullustan colony that you were raised? Maybe more in the Outer Rim, or
Yeah, I like
Rim.
I like Outer Rim. I like a colony. This is the ship is a leftover from the old Republic.
okay, nice.
So
You mean, is it from like way back during the Clone Wars? I say,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
to being excited.
Yeah. I mean, that's why everyone was like, what? When it came in.
Nice. So if you don't mind, then if we're going kind of Outer Rimish, maybe we just grab the Minos cluster, because I've got a cool map of it, and I'll drop that into our stuff if that's cool with you guys.
I'm all about cool maps.
Fun.
Our ship needs a name.
Oh yeah. Well, that's within our ship generation stuff. Describe 2 moments of tension within the crew. For example, Jackson Commando Cat. That's one of the example characters from Teens in Space, which delights me. Argue over who's going to pilot the ship. Argued over who was going to pilot the ship in front of a client, which cost them a job. Then later that day, Commando Cat caught Jackson gambling with the last of their credits and started yelling at her in a casino. That is examples, but like, what do you guys think?
Well, I definitely think there was a moment where Marseille took over the piloting, for the initial liftoff or whatever, and the rest of the crew quickly discovered that she was perhaps by far the worst pilot among them, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
To tie in the Mar and Zara fleeing the authorities, maybe you were a little disingenuous with your intentions. You got on the ship, and we had to flee the authorities at the station, and that's when Mar took the controls, and we escaped barely.
And Zara made lots of snarky comments at Mar's flying, and until probably Mar was like, "Oh, if you're so clever, you do it."
And then you were really good at it, so.
If I had hair, I'd be pulling it out right now.
Oh, this is good. I love it.
Just don't pull on my ears.
So we botched our flight from the space station.
There's no automatic systems. I don't understand.
That's great. Okay, cool. So that is good. Yeah, so you guys were on a station. We'll say maybe you were on Prospero's Dream, and that's not a great station. You probably want to escape from it anyway. And the authorities knew something about Zyra Tarvo. Maybe there was a conflict between the Unbound and the Merc crew that runs security on that station, and you took off, and Marseille decided, oh yeah, well, I'm the captain now, I'll fly us out. Maybe you like bumped into another ship on your way out, like kind of scraped a little bit there, and
Just cosmetic.
Yeah, I mean, I can paint the ship.
yeah.
I like painting things, so.
So this is a cool flip to the last question that I appreciate is in here. Each character should give an answer to this question. It could be just a member of the crew they feel bonded to, or a common cause. The question is, what was a moment you felt truly bonded to this little crew?
I think maybe after we got away from the whole trouble at the space station, we were just like, yay, we've done it. And then that was like, yeah. And then we discussed that, what are we going to do now? It was like, we could stay together and do stuff. Like, you know, we're basically grown-ups and we can basically do jobs and stuff like that.
Gosh, I'm totally getting that Clone Wars 4 with the two sisters, I'm getting a bit of that vibe right now. That's pretty cool. So
I
Zyra,
think one of you was like assisting me repairing the engine because we had to like overdrive it to escape. Which one of you would have been like handing me tools and actually knowing what I was asking for?
How? Now that sounds like a leading question. Actually, I think Mars would know all the tools, and
Okay.
that is pretty like, yeah. And I think, yeah, and I think when you were doing that, she was actually asking you all sorts of questions about where you found the ship and what do you know about it. Like, clearly has the impression that you have much deeper knowledge of this ship than maybe you have yet.
And Sarah was just looking if there were any interesting stuff in your toolbox, because, I mean, this is a boring tool. This is also a boring tool. What does this do? And then somebody said, no, don't press the button. And then she did. And then something happened. But, well.
But it was fine in the end.
cool. And then what would the Marseille bonding question be?
Oh, I think for her, it was that first time when they sort of landed on one of the other colonies that they went to, and they had nothing. I mean, it's like they took off and all of those things, and she was able to use her contacts to essentially arrange for them to sit down to a really good meal at the restaurant. She hadn't thought anywhere ahead of that, but at least they had something really good to eat. And we were all at the restaurant, you know, essentially just having all the dishes that we wanted on the Safe Family tab. And that was it.
And that meal together is how she felt more bonded to the crew, kind of deal?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
that whole thing that she could provide for them. And there's that whole thing of when you do a favor in some ways for other people, you are more bound to them than they to you in that sort of sense. But yeah, for her, that was how she knew she could take care of them.
Oh, that's good. I like it. Sweet. We already We already said we were at a spaceport, so this will be should be easy. Oh, this is wild. Okay, so every character has to share a rumor they heard. It doesn't have to be a spaceport. Oh, no, that's fine. So at the last time you were at a spaceport, we'll say last time you were when you were at Prospero's Dream, you each heard a rumor. The example is Praxis is developing a weapon capable of destroying whole planets from space, or the intergalactic police are starting to crack down on smugglers in the region we're about to head to. Those are a couple of the examples from Teens in Space. So the last time you were at a spaceport, what rumor did you hear?
Heard that there is a Corellian noble holding a hyperspace race through the Minos cluster. Like stock car racing, like off-road racing, but with hyperspace.
Oh my goodness. That's pretty great. I'm into this.
I think Syra heard something about a High Republic old space wizard temple station thingy that has untold riches in it if you have the right mindset to get there.
High Republic.
Space wizard. I mean, it's basically probably Jedi or maybe Sith. Who knows? Space wizard.
And it's somewhere in the Minos cluster or just somewhere out?
Yeah, it's somewhere in the Minos cluster. It's at some, I think it's in some asteroid field. I imagine there are multiple asteroids fields in the Minos cluster. So.
Yeah.
Just for a harken back real quick, can that Corellian noble be the person I killed when I was the Rhodian bounty hunter?
Yes.
The one with the ridiculous pirate hair? Okay, good. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Yeah, good stuff. I'm into that.
And I heard that a bunch of, like, essentially a fleet of unmanned Old Republic cruisers, battle cruisers, showed up in the orbit of one of the minor colonies. And that there are some reports of other old Republic Clone War ships showing up in places.
That's terrifying.
Well, we got one too, so.
All this stuff, all these Lost Fleet dreadnoughts, it sounds not at all troublesome or problematic. Is it Falkine? Is that the Tapani noble that
Yes,
killed?
yes, yeah. Falkine.
Yeah.
Tapani, yeah, that's fine. Tapani noble.
Lord Core Falkine is. So are you thinking timeline wise that like Falkine's dead, that this is a thing that the daughter is holding?
I'm okay with that too. Yeah, if this is timeline afterwards.
I'm asking not.
Oh,
do you want Lord Falkine to be still alive here?
Yeah, still alive.
All right.
I mean, gosh, I had to flee really quickly. He may have survived the flesh wound.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
what an embarrassment that would be.
That would be an embarrassment. Oh, poor guy. Sorry, I just added the write up there. Lord Core Falkine, Tapani noble exile, nearly murdered by Zop. There we go. That's delightful. Sweet. These rumors are amazing, and we have one last crew creation. What job, this is not everyone answers because then you're on 3 jobs. What job is the crew in the middle of right now? Examples: we've stolen the orb over in Sala and now need to deliver it to Karun the Meticulous, or we've got all the intel we need to start our assault on Kraxos Star Destroyer. You guys are an old ancient tech, so it could be not I'm going to shoot and kill everything. I am very happy with whatever intrigues you.
I think maybe we're taking people from A to B, and there are other people who don't want these people to go from A to B, something like that.
Oh yeah, like someone really important. They thought our junker old ship would be beneath the radar and no one would track us.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think transporting people back and forth is kind of our bread and butter. That's how we, put coaxium in the engines. But normally it's much more above board. It's more of a chartered, easy going thing. This is a bit shadier. I like that.
What about if these were maybe the children of some really important people who wanted to get either away from their family business, just to be free and do whatever they wanted, or go to
we're being hired by other teens.
Yeah, this is like a ship full of teens. I love it. It's one of those, like, there's a lot wiser, but I really get along with Marseille. And that Zyra Tarva seems pretty cool. And that Karwu, he's funny. Yeah, I'm hiring you guys.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I think, yeah, I'm into that. So yeah, so you have some passengers. You're ferrying somewhere. The children of important people. They're trying to get away from someone.
Oh no, they're trying to get away from a big festival where they have to spend the whole time like in somber prayer and stuff like that. So essentially they're sneaking out on family obligations is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. That is perfect.
Maybe they want to go to some sort of university and to study something that is not what their family wants them to study, like, I don't know.
They want to study parties.
Oh, well, there is a whole livelihood to be made by organizing parties, I mean, it's wow. It's a solid choice.
Okay, so here's what I'd like to throw out. In Minos cluster, it turns out there's a planet called Purgator. It's spelled not like purgatory, but yeah, it's kind of. So Purgator, back like High Republic days in the Minos cluster, was this mining planet. But they mined, and the corporations just drove so far and deep into the core that the place is now kind of spewed with volcanic ash and gases and the like. And so there's still mining going on, but the planet is slowly falling apart. And a lot of the folks moved up into space stations, and then a religion that kind of blamed the corporations to a degree took hold. And so Purgator is a place filled with a lot of like religious zealotry, and there's the Church of Purgator, and like everything has this like veneer of some kind of religious station to it. And I think maybe the teens your passengers have snuck away on board your ship, or have, yeah. I like this place. It's really messed up. Yeah. And so that's what they're trying to escape, because they have to go into the long dark, which is the year of prayer, and they really don't want to. So they decide to hitch a ride. Yes, this is good. I'm into it. I'm going to. That is a thing. Let's. I had a picture I was trying to drop in to update the Minos cluster. There we go. Awesome. So you can find there is a tab now called Minos Cluster in Purgator. Yeah, it was excessive mining resulted in volcanic eruptions that poisoned the atmosphere and destroyed the ecosystem. So they've all moved to sealed cities and space stations. And so that's where you guys picked up your current yeah, and I think, where do they want to go? I think they want to go to Aderlon. Who doesn't want to go to Aderlon? Aderlon is kind of Space Vegas in a way. It's more of Space Hollywood. It's like Bollywood, right? Aderlon in the Minos cluster is this planet that has a bunch of holovid studios. Some of them are fly-by-night studios. This is also where the very famous Hearts of the Force series was shot and aired. So that's a thing to keep in mind. In case anyone's a super fan of those amazing stories. So more crossover, all the crossover. Okay. Cool. So we've got our things. We've got our job to pray for. Now we're gonna go over our ship stuff. Yep, checking time. We'll take break after we do ship stuff. So during the first session, the GM will ask some questions. What do you envision your crew doing in this game? We've already answered it. You generally ferry passengers right now, but that may change. You've chosen a class of ship, which is the Ancient Tech. So Ancient Tech, I'm on the Your Ship tab in case you're... The Wookiee dude was pretty awesome. He was a lot of trouble, though, but he was pretty great. Sorry, that's from the Hearts of the Force game. Built by an unknown species, these ships are rare and often unique. This class of ship holds many secrets and may be highly sought after by many factions, including warlords, governments, and crime syndicates. Suggested 1 improvement point or 2 improvement point improvements. And then, again, this is copy-pasted, so if we're like, we don't think this is very Star Warsy, we can nix anything we want. The X card is always there. I haven't even gone over safety tools because we're just making characters, but it's always there. But the suggested improvements for Ancient Tech: cloaking device, cryostasis chamber, which is basically back to tank, right? EVA craft is just a shuttle, whatever. Greenhouse, which I think is fascinating. I'm really into the idea of starships that have greenhouses, or, oxygen creating plants so that your air is fresher. Medical bay, organic ship. So that one's a thing we'll want to talk about. So if somebody wants organic ship, let's have that conversation. Each class has suggestions of improvements to take, but these are not requirements. So let's quickly ask this question before we go any further. How serious or silly do you want this game to be? This is a little bit of a tone conversation mixed into Teens in Space.
I would like it to be a little bit on the lighthearted side, but I don't need it to be silly, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think something appropriate for like a Star Wars like morning cartoon kind of thing. That might be even a little more lighthearted than I really want, but that kind of vein.
Cool. Yeah, I don't want to go droids cartoon level of Star Wars silly, because that's just not.
Yeah,
that's not my bag.
That's a little off the wall. Yeah.
Not silly, not gonzo, but lighthearted. That
I'm
pretty
good.
much hits the spot.
And we can adjust to taste as we go on. Let's just check in. If there's a point where like, can we try this a different way? Feel free to jump in with that. I feel like we as a group, I've played with all of you quite a bit. No one's going to get chapped over someone saying, okay, good. So to reflect that preference, consult the TIS ship improvements and add an improvement to the ship that costs 1 or 2 improvement points. Go around the table and have each player add 1 such improvement to the ship. And when it's your turn to choose one, you may instead upgrade 1 already selected improvement as long as the upgrade costs 1 or 2 IP. There's a PDF linked on row 23, A23 in the Your Ship tab that has all of the ship improvements in case you need that link. Let's go from right to left on the character keeper. So, Sherry, you get to go first.
No.
Your ship starts off with a few things already. You already start with, crap. Where's the thing? Did I already put that, like, paste it somewhere else? I think I hid it, maybe. I don't know. No, I didn't. Dang it. You already start with some stuff that I've put into the character keeper. So you have a heat meter default of 5. You start with some thrusters, some shields, and some manned gun turrets, all at D4.
All right. I think that we're definitely, the first thing I'm going to do is buy thrusters up then. So, wait, you already have the pilot and no, what do we need to win that race?
That's great.
I mean, we know we have cabins. Do we need to buy cabins for our passengers since that's our thing? Doesn't look like it. Okay, then, yeah, I'm all about getting this ship as fast as we can.
Yeah, I don't see cabins as a improvement. So we'll just say you have cabins. So you want to buy up the thrusters. Okay.
Yep.
So let's see. We're currently on thrusters of 1 improvement point. So you can take it up to a D6 with your +2 improvement points.
Okay.
Sweet. And then we will now go to Sabine. What improvement would you like to buy for the ship?
I don't know. It doesn't seem to be on here, but can we have a droid? Like an
yeah,
astromech?
you have a droid.
Oh, cool.
Done.
Okay.
Do you want to spend improvement points on something else? You have a droid. I'm happy to have it. Is it a Rolly droid? Is it an astromech droid? Is it a protocol droid? What is the droid?
I think it's an astromech droid. It's not we don't need a protocol droid. It's an astromech droid, and it makes BP noises, and it's I think I think I like Aoi. Like it's like that, like very enthusiastic droid who wants to really help, and it's a pretty new droid, or thinks it's a new droid.
Yeah, it thinks it's a new droid, but it's
Thinks
actually
it's a
one
new
of the
droid.
ancient ones.
Actually
It hasn't
pretty
been
ancient.
used much.
Yeah, maybe it had some sort of mind wipe, and now it thinks it's very new, and like us, it's basically a teenage droid.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, that's really great. So we've got an astromech droid. Does it have a voice like mod at some point? So it doesn't speak binary. It actually speaks basic.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, I like the droids that talk, but I also like droids just beeping enthusiastically at everything. I think it's a BP droid.
A BP droid? Okay.
We can buy it up to basic.
Yeah. I don't know where. Do I have to put that anywhere on the tab thingy?
I was also just going to stick it into the NPCs.
Oh, okay, cool. Do I have to spend improvement points, and if so, how many?
Nah, you don't need to spend any improvement points on that.
Okay.
That's the thing I want to happen, and
cool.
So unless you're like,
cool.
I don't know of any mechanic benefit other than you have the ability to enter astrogation stuff that most anyone could, but I can also create problems with said droid. So good. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Cool.
My start menu won't come up. That is really weird. Huh. Okay. So yeah, now you have to buy an improvement. Sorry.
Oh, I have to? Cool. Can I buy an engine upgrade?
Absolutely. 1 per level. Each level increases the ship's heat meter by 1.
That seems
It's kind of useful, but like it's not huge.
It increases the heat meter slot, which means that essentially for every thruster we buy, we can use the thruster more times before the ship goes crazy. So it allows us to put more speed.
Cool. Yay.
Thank you. I'll definitely be leaning on you a little bit, Sherry, because some of the ship stuff confused me a little bit. Sweet. Good. And now, Greg for Karwoo.
I think I'm going to go with remote control, which means we can pilot the ship even if we're not physically on the ship.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And even if our droid isn't working.
Sweet. Remote control. I'm checking the box for that. Support system. Remote control. Awesome. All right. So we circle, let's see, everybody does one round. That's right. Okay, cool. So add an improvement, costs 1 or 2 improvement points. Awesome. How much of space, I don't know if this is a thing, like this is Teens in Space, and I think we mostly know it, but how much of space is explored in your universe? How much of the known universe has your ship seen with or without the current crew? So I like the second half of that. We have a map, right? It's Star Wars canon. We're just going to say that's the thing. So how much of the known universe has your ship seen with or without the current crew? Seems like you guys are pretty newish to having the ship and have.
I think as far as our crew, I think it's mostly stayed in the Minos cluster. As far as the ship itself, I don't even know if we know. If it's an old Republic ship, it's probably seen a lot. But
That's true. Oh, that's interesting. Cool.
But all that was on the droid, and that's been wiped. Oops.
Oh, so the droid came with the ship? Oh, this is an old droid. This is like, that's pretty
It's
sweet.
an R1 unit. Oh, R1, right?
Oh, that's awful and amazing. I'm into it. Cool. Good. So here's a good one. I have to ask this question twice. What is a conflict this ship has been involved in? This could be a large intergalactic conflict or a small, more personal one. Was it involved in the Clone Wars? There we go.
Yeah.
I thought Sabine was okay. Was involved. Which side was it on? The Confederate Independent Systems or the Republic?
I like it.
It got captured. So,
Oh yeah, or both. Both is great.
that's why it's a single one on our planet,
So which did it start with, and who? So it started with the Republic and got captured by the Separatists?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least that's what we maybe think happened. And
it's
if
a
we
story we
care.
tell ourselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if we even care about this old stuff.
We just do because of the damage to the ship that we found.
That's great. What's a more recent conflict that this ship has been involved in?
Maybe some kind of dust up with one of the crime syndicates.
I like that.
I think we came in to assist because I insisted on it because we're dashing. So we came in to assist someone who was under fire from one of the crime syndicates. There we go.
We were transporting the Sith?
No, we weren't.
Oh.
Assist. I think Sherry said assist.
sorry.
Yeah, no, I heard it Sith the first time.
Oh, it's okay.
So came in to assist
Your
someone,
accent.
someone under attack from what's a crime syndicate we want to throw? Do we want to have the
Black Sun?
Black? Okay, there we go. I didn't know you were going to go all the way to Black Sun, but there we go.
I don't know. That's the one I know. I'm not
well.
an expert on Star Wars crime syndicates.
Black
I know
Sun
that.
and Crimson Dawn and
Black Sun,
That's
Crimson
not-
Dawn,
Pikes, the
Hut
Pikes.
Cartel, the Pikes. Syndicate.
Oh, yeah, right, the Huts. No, I think Black Sun's fine.
All right, Black Sun.
So we got ourselves in the middle with someone really bad without having any sense of it. Okay.
Oh
Good
yeah,
job, team pilots.
and they're still on the ship too, right? Like, Are they
Was
still on
that
the ship? Or oh,
is that what was hunting both of you on the space station? Was it Black Sun?
Maybe. I mean,
Why did I let you on board? No.
we just. How did we get in trouble, Mar? How did we get in trouble with the Black Sun? Was that intentional? Even
I
probably
think
not.
I think it was. I think that like we saw them being horrible to someone. Like it was just a micro incident, right? So we saw them like beating someone up and got in the way of it, and then and then they started chasing us. Thought it was going to be real quick, but we were much harder to catch, and they got angrier and angrier.
I think it's a it escalated quickly situation. We didn't exactly mean to piss off the whole Black Sun. I think one of the guys who stopped beating up this other guy was a son of some sort of higher up there, and we kind of humiliated him.
Yeah, humiliated him very visibly.
He has a scar right here from one of the two of you doing a thing.
Yeah, and witnesses to us dumping stuff on him, and things like that from above, and race through a marketplace, and he's the only recognizable person that they could appeal to repay. So.
Oh, I have an idea. That maybe that whole thing started out when Syra was redecorating the name of that that Black Sun guy's ship, because she likes to do that. She likes to redecorate names on ships, and that's how it started out. And then they started beating up this other guy who they thought had done it, and Syra said, oh well, that was you're really not on top of your game. And then I think Mar maybe just stepped in, because beating up people is kind of wrong.
That's great. I'll have to give a name to this Black Sun kind of underlord, like a lieutenant of some kind who hates you guys so much. Not many teams have their own spaceship. How is it your crew came to be traveling in one? I think we've answered that. Karwoo found it and drug it to Prospero's dream, and then craziness happens. That sounds good.
One thing, can we go back a minute? The son of the Black Sun thing, he should be teenage too.
Of course.
Just make this very, very,
And he's the son of one of the Black Sun leaders, right? So, Dad's gonna keep backing him even though he screws stuff up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Karwoo, there's so much trouble. Why are they here? Awesome. What on the ship is incredibly well maintained.
Are we gonna spend the rest of our improvement points?
So I think that actually each of you did 2 improvement points to the ship, so you end up with like 8 that you can do for character improvements, unless you, once we're done with this, you're like, I want to add extra Y more to the ship. But yeah, you can spend as many or as little of your improvement points.
I saved 7 points for the ship. So
jeez, and crackers, this is great.
I still have 5 left, so.
Yeah. So if you want to answer this by saying, I'm going to spend an improvement on X because I want it to be a thing, we can keep it incredibly well maintained, you can spend as many character points as you want now on ship improvements. Is there a particular area in the ship that we want to define here? What?
Yeah. I think. Wow.
I think maybe the cabins we use for the passengers need to be reasonably well maintained, because we want to attract customers, right?
Yeah, I like that a lot. The rest of the ship is a little bit hodgepodgey. There's parts that have definitely seen better days, but the old world luxury of our cabins is still intact.
I'm into that.
I think as far as my improvements, I have 4 left. So I'm going to spend 2 on shields. And then 1 on a greenhouse. So I just think that's cool.
Yeah.
And is the back to tank? Is that the cryo? Yeah,
Yeah.
1 per chamber.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that's kind of something that sets us apart is that we have that kind of facility.
It's nice. So I think we should have a speeder because, I mean, why not? That's 2 points, I think.
It is.
Okay. And I like having escape pods because that's probably a good idea. So that is 3 points, and then I have 2 left. And I think I think I'll take another engine upgrade
Ooh,
or 2.
no.
I mean,
That's
that's all my points. So
Okay. So did you take 1 engine upgrade or 2?
2. I have 2 points left. Yeah.
Okay. Then I will put the rest into engine upgrades and thrusters. So I have 7 points to spend. So I will put, let's see here then. I'll put 5 into thrusters. Well, I can only put 4 in. So I'll put 4 into thrusters and then 2 into engines. And then I
I
have
think you
1
have
more.
Isn't it just 3 you have to put into thrusters to push them up to D8?
Yeah, 3 improvement
says-
points will take it up to a D8.
Yeah.
3. Okay. Ooh, if I put all 7, I could put it into thrusters.
Yeah.
Okay.
D10.
Mhm.
Which means that you have some heat, but like you guys could, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. But still, she put the 2 into the engine, but we can go 1 above where that would go. So, and it would increase our heat meter because the engines will absorb that. So yeah, I will put in all 7 points into thrusters. So
Okay.
it gives us 4 piloting or flight checks. So yeah.
Nice.
With +4s. Up to +4s, you can choose.
Yeah, you get +4s on that. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, the increase the flight checks of the pilot when making evasive maneuvers, increase the ship's heat meter by 1 each time they're used. Okay, so whenever you use a thruster to give you the bonus, then your heat meter is going to go up because you're pushing it. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we've got quite a bit. We've got 3 engine improvements. So it can eat it until we get to that last 4th one. I think is how that works. That's my.
You actually start off with like 5 in default, so you can actually use it
excellent.
quite a bit. So you guys can use it 8 times, although there are other things that can increase your heat.
All right, so we're like super, super agile.
You are. This is a quick little ship. All right, so passengers' cabins are spotless. What on the ship, so a flip side from the incredibly well maintained, what on the ship is held together with space tape and a prayer?
I'm tempted to say our engines.
Actually,
They're high performing, but they could be even better.
That's interesting. I would also put forward that communications, because that's changed a lot. So our ability to communicate with like the space stations and all that stuff as we go in is actually taped together because protocols have changed and all that stuff. So we've got modules stuck in to try
And your transponder is twitchy. I like that.
Exactly. It's all
I like
because
that.
it's
I see a lot of fun there.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you say?
Karwoo is supposed to fix that, but never gets around to it. Yeah.
Because it's
dreads
boring.
it.
I think it's boring and kind of like, oh, it's grunge work. Like, ugh. And the droid doesn't understand what we want. To update it, it's state of the art, isn't it? Like him.
Exactly, state of the art. It's delightful. We're almost done. 2 more questions. What is one story that everyone, either your crew or the public, has heard about your ship?
I think that we had communication problems and we needed to land because we were running short on fuel or whatever. And we actually managed to kind of come in along with another ship and not get caught until we were landed, if that makes any sense, because we are so maneuverable.
So did we like parallel park right behind somebody who was also trying to parallel park in the same spot? So they were like, we just swooped in and took their spot.
Yeah, exactly. But
Space traffic controllers hate us.
Yeah, it's true. We always try to jump the queue and stuff like that. And I might change my fatal flaw to impatient.
ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, right? And one I can really emphasize with anyway.
Nice. All right, here's the last question, the hardest one.
Okay.
What is the ship's name?
Oh,
Yep. Always the hardest.
While we're on this, I have an idea for what the ship looks like. I've pulled this from an old Republic thing, so I'm going to insert it if people get ideas from it, or if we look at it and go, no, that's not what I'm thinking. That's A-okay too. I believe it was at one point used for Clone Wars trooper transport or something, but it has those awesome Y-wing engine nacelles.
That is nice.
I like that.
What is that like? Do you have the link to that you could share with me?
I've been trying to track down. I've only found the image.
No worries.
Yeah, if I find it, I'll let you know.
Okay. That's really cool. I like that pick a lot.
So you said something about we were in Prospero's dream? Was where we started? What were you talking about there?
Yeah, I think that was the starting place, Prospero's dream.
Yeah, Prospero's dream is the starting place, yes.
Okay.
So maybe we can use something about dream.
Yeah, or the like it's beach.
Maybe not space dream. That's weird.
Sword dream.
Sword dream. Yeah, sure.
I want something that kind of like either sounds super sporty and fast or is like against that. I'm gonna blackball Bantha because Bantha's been used in other Star Wars
So
games
many
for
times.
other ships. Yeah,
Probably not that fast.
I mean,
I
there's
mean, we
the.
could. Go ahead.
Oh, I was like Cryet Dragon comes to mind. That's a Tatooine
Yeah.
monster. But yeah.
And there's the Gundark. Always a favorite.
Oh, the Gundark is a good one.
Let's call it Gundark.
The Dreaming Gundark?
The Dreaming Gundark.
The Dreaming Gundark? Okay.
Yeah, that leaves me enough space to kind of play around with it and put dots on letters and kind of paint Gundarks on our paint gunners on our ship at inappropriate places.
That's
See, that's
great.
what we've named our ship. The ship's name itself, according to itself, is probably the Tempest.
Oh.
Tempest? Yeah, I like
So
that.
the droid calls it the Tempest, but we're
Yes.
constantly correcting it. Yes.
Exactly.
We've rechristened it because
our dreams.
Tempest. I mean, Tempest is
What
boring.
does it even mean?
The space kid, we don't have Tempests in space, mostly not really. And Mari, you're a space kid as well, right?
Yes.
What about you, Karwu? You a planet kid or a space kid?
Oh, Karwu was born on a planet.
Oh, I'm so
as
sorry.
as you know, some experience working mining equipment and fixing it.
Oh, right. I mean, Sarah might have been born on a planet, but she doesn't remember that.
Do you think maybe Karwu is from Purgator? Like down there on the volcanic with all the ashes and
I'm good with that. Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah, and kind of terrifying.
I don't think Karwu ever got involved in the whole religious cult
Sure.
aspect
No,
of
I
it.
don't
Yeah.
think so either. It was around him. It was a thing that was kind of unavoidable. There we go. I found a
Oh, thank you.
alt pick that has a look with it with the drawbridge chopped. This is it's from BioWare. No wonder this thing looks so pretty.
It does have a certain Falcon crest look to it, doesn't it?
Into it. That looks super duper. Sweet. Have you guys all spent the character points you wish to right now?
Yeah, I think I've spent all my character points.
I could use a bio break.
Yeah, I was getting ready to call one. That's why I was just doing a check-in before I call bio break. Awesome. It is 24 after. Let's take like 10 minutes. I'm gonna pause recording here. All right, sweet. We are on. We have all of the character creation stuff done, our ship creation. Let me quickly go over our lines and veils and safety tools before we begin actual play. We have lines. These are pieces of content that we are not interested in having in our Star Wars stories. The lines are against sexual assault, sexual violence, sexual coercion, and torture. And torture, I assume, we'll check in if we ever. Torture doesn't mean the person getting beat up. It means torturing people for information or torturing them for just to demoralize, break, whatever. Not interested in it. Even though, yes, it had occurred in the original trilogy. It was just a line that we have, and that's A-okay. We have veils, which are, this is content we're okay with happening, but we don't want to shine a light on it. If it starts to happen, we'll quickly fade to black. And that is consensual sex, grief, or loss. So that is interesting. It's kind of the moment where the one Ewok shakes the other Ewok that's laying on the ground, and then we see them give out that mournful sound, but we quickly cut away and move back into the action. Or maybe we hear Chihuahua barking in the background as part of our sad. Harm to pet animals. We will ask first on that one. Also, mind control or domination and suicide. And ask first just means if we think we're about to introduce that content, we check in with the table. Hey, it feels like maybe this might be the time when so-and-so, or I've got this idea of a thing where this is going to happen. You check in with the table. If anyone, for any reason, is like, maybe not, just say, hey, can you try it a different way? And then we agree as adults who are here to have a good time together that we'll just think of another thing. And if you're like, that's the only idea I had, then just pull the table. We have Sherry here. We have Sabine here. We have Greg here. I guarantee there will be other good ideas, he says as a note to himself. So that is what we have for lines and veils and ask first. But that layer on top of that is always extant in games that I run is the X card. Anything where you're like, oh, I didn't realize we were going to be talking about teeth pulling. I'm going to not into it. I'm going to X card that. You just say, hey, Rich, you need to X card this particular thing, or X card, and then we're going to pause, play, not stop. And I'll check in just to make sure that I understand what is being X-carded. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to tell me the story of why you're X-carding it, because to me, like, explaining why is like, you didn't solve the issue, right? Let's just know what it is and move the heck on. I've just opened a new Diet Pepsi, so, I'm going to be ready to rock and roll. Yeah, so we have the X card there as well. We have our crew. We've introduced everyone and our players. We have done everything in our little setup. It is time to pick up. So we start off with the sound of vibrant music. It's not the like laid back cantina, jazz music or anything like the Max Rebo band, which is it's like this low thrumming kind of electronica music that's going on. And we pick up as we see, like, as the camera kind of focuses, we see this kind of large dome hut with a bunch of like weird lights coming through the various windows that are here. And you see that this is a very slick, highly industrialized planet. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it says Adarlon. Now, Adarlon was colonized like 300 cycles ago. It's located right on the Rima trade route, so it's gets all kinds of trade, and it's very cosmopolitan. It's known for its music and holographic entertainment. There are a number of studios that are housed here. This is, for lack of a better term, the Bollywood of Star Wars. And we start off with the music, and we zip in to see that there is this like zero G dance club that's going on. So there is a ring of actual tables and bars that are all set up on several different layers. And then the central area is this big zero G place that you just step in and you can kind of float up. And for a few extra credits, you can get like this cute little like shoulder strappy backpack thing that can let you like zip around. Otherwise, you just kind of float, right? Or there's some people, of course, right? They have, cool little jet boots kind of deal. Of course, but those are like not authorized by the club itself. And so when Stollywood, I'm into that. This is jet booters. They're the worst, really. So we pick up, and the camera pans around. We see that there are humans to Garuda, Twi'leks. We see that there are a number of different alien species here. And I'm curious, when we see Karwu, is it Pol? Karwu Pol or Paul? Karwu Pol. What do we see him doing?
So Karwu is modifying one of these provided jetpack devices. He's going to try and I think he's going to use it so that he can actually like emulate there actually being a dance floor for him, so he can make it look like his feet are touching a floor and like hit the same spot and do a twist, and everyone's going to love it.
So instead of actually participating in the dancing, he's working hard on jet boots so that he can. Yeah, that sounds great. We'll circle back around to, I actually want to see a die roll to see how this jet boot modification happens. But so we see that, and you've got like a Hydra spanner or something, and a particular boot of some kind. Then we pan around, and when we see Zyra Tarvo, what is she doing?
I think she's in the middle of the whole zero-G thing. She does not have a jetpack or anything, but she's kind of floating around. It looks like she's dancing or wafting, and then she occasionally grabs people who have jetpacks or bowls and just lets herself be dragged, and then uses the what is the name of the thing that I mean? The momentum.
Oh yeah,
She did
yeah.
that, and then twists and tumbles around. It looks she's looking for a bit of loot, really. Like most of these people are probably a bit drunk and a bit enthusiastic and are watching their possessions as closely as they should. And she's not really out to steal anything, but you know, if opportunity is provided, it would be a shame not to grab it, right? Wouldn't it?
Huh. Yeah, with the species drawback of curious and fatal flaw of impatient, it seems like just grabbing interesting things. So I think what we see is Zyra dancing around, moving between people, pushing and kind of floating, and you see that there's one young Duros. Duros are the ones that have the kind of traditional gray alien look to them, who has this like chain that's floated up. So the chain is around his collar a little bit, but it's kind of floated up almost past his head to a degree. And he's dancing and not really paying much attention. And you make eye contact, Zyra, or you happen to catch the eye of Ivory, your kind of co-hitchhiker, stowaway type that you had saved from Prospero's dream and the trouble with the Black Sun. And she seems to have caught your eye, like maybe she also sees that opportunity, and so she may have your back, or she may go for it if you chicken out.
I think I imagine that it's more. I think Sarah thinks that it's more a contest thing, like who grabs it first.
Oh yeah, that seems appropriate as well. I love that. Then the camera meanders around maybe before a few bodies, kind of the style of like people are floating past and the camera keeps moving through, and eventually it focuses on Marseille.
Mar's at, one of the tables with the booth, and she's got two good-looking guys next to her, and she's sort of, pouring out liquor for the three of them and talking. A couple of himbos that just feels right when you're celebrating, and that's she's enjoying herself and spreading around a little bit of her largesse.
Nice, that's right, because she comes from a bit of money, so
Yeah.
things are good for her, right?
Money
Yeah.
is to be spent. There's just no sense of saving up. Let's put it that way.
I mean, it is kind of a medium of exchange. Totes.
Mm-hmm.
I am with you. So I think that one of the guys near you is the Mirialan style. They're the ones that have the kind of cool face tattoos. They look generally human, but are, either have a green or yellowish cast to their skin. He's got like kind of a punk haircut, and you're getting the vibe just looking from his clothing that he's a handsome guy who comes here to look for people to sponge off of, and he's found you. You're the perfect companion for the evening. He's a lot more interested in free drinks and maybe a few finger foods than anything else.
I order more nutritious snacks than I might otherwise, just because he does look a little hungry.
He does look a little hungry. That's a very thoughtful thing to do. He doesn't even know what you're doing for him. Such a good captain.
Yeah, take care of people.
And I think he will grab a name for him, our Mirialan male. We will call him Garen, Garen Keeg. And Garen holds up this little frothy drink that he's ordered, and he says, "To the captain of the Tempest," he says, using the wrong name for this ship. What do you do?
Does he know that?
We see the asteroid mech kind of zip past.
Is there? I don't know. I think she puts her cup up. She's all right for being toasted, and sort of looks at the other guy that's sitting next to her.
Oh, cool. So the other guy who's sitting next to you, you know what? I'm going to say that it is Sero Sundar. He's a Khorassani. Um, he came in with a Twi'lek, but she has headed off to join all of the dancing. He's a little on the like older side. He's maybe like 26, you know, so he's kind of
Ooh,
like sketch.
yeah.
Like he's a little, you
I'm an
know,
older man.
he's an older man, and uh, he's paying attention to you whenever you do something to grab attention, but generally keeps his eyes on the crowd. Uh, it seems like he's here for another reason, but just has kind of slid into this, imagining like horseshoe style booth
Hmm.
with you.
Exactly.
He's pleasant. He's pretty smart. Saro Sundar is a sharp guy, but you also notice that he has a holdout blaster. It's on like a little wrist thing where he could like snap and it would pop out, uh, which is a thing because you're on Aderlon and that's super illegal to have in this kind of club.
Um, does he look like he's watching out around a particular person? Like
He's
bodyguarding the Twi'lek? Or does he
kind of
look
sort
like
of kind of sort of bodyguarding the Twi'lek, and she's a flirt
uh
and is just really working the crowd. Unlike Zyra, she's here to have a good time and attract as much attention as possible. She really enjoys being the center of attention, and you get the sense that like they don't have a romantic relationship. It's almost like a brother sister relationship. Like he's watching out for her and just seeing like, okay, that person, kind of checking things there.
all right. She's kind of cool with that. He's still good looking, so she
He
doesn't.
is.
Yeah, she doesn't bother him too much. Um, but she does kind of watch what he's doing because maybe she could use that. It's sort of cool in its own way, right? Yeah, maybe she'll have to get a holdout pistol like that. She puts it on her mental list of things to acquire with her extra money. So,
There we go. There we go. Let's circle back around to Karwu and see how this jet boot modification process is going. It's our first die roll of the game. So I
Yeah.
didn't share it in the thing, but we do have a roll with me room. So let me
Boom, beat
give
you
you
to it.
guys. Oh, look at you. You are on fire.
So many screens.
All the screens, all screens, all the
screens.
time. Thank you very much. So let's build a role. In this game, I'm going to say, actually, I really feel like you tell me exactly how do you want this to be something that, so if we're looking on the rules tab,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you set the difficulty, right? Because really the difficulty of this modification is up to exactly how crazy you want to go with it.
Right. What's the? I guess there's not a really good baseline on what a difficulty class would be.
A task where success is certain for those who are very skilled at it, but not for those who aren't. Kind of that cut of difficult
Yeah,
versus
the median
is like the 7 to 9 range.
7 to 9.
Right?
Okay. I think like a 10. I think Karwu is maybe in a little over his head. It's not a spaceship. He's good at spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
But this is sort of like a more personal equipment. He might be, using some fuzzy math to make the adjustments and overcorrecting something. So to keep that in check, I think that's probably 10 seems reasonable.
Cool. And I think that this would be I think this is a brains role, right? You're being book smart, understanding solving intellectual problems. Does that seem what the stat that's most appropriate to your approach?
Brains, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you've got a couple of options. This is a thing that you spend as much time as you want, right? So we could easily say it's a planned action. So we have the problem and the stat, and I let you set the numerical difficulty of a 10. because you have time to think and react calmly, you can either roll the appropriate die for that stat. You can take half the value of that stat's die. Now, unfortunately, half of the value of your brains is a 5. You have a +1 bonus, so you'd be rolling a 6. That's not going to get you what you want.
No, I don't think this is something. Excuse me. I don't think this is something that Karwu has thought through all that much, and he's trying to get out on the dance floor as quickly as possible. Might be trying to impress Sero and/or Dia with the sweet dance moves on this jetpack. So,
I mean,
it's more of a snap kind of thing.
That sounds good. So let's have you roll your D10. It does explode.
Right.
So if you roll that 10, you're going to get it, but then you can potentially roll again.
And I'd be adding +1 to my results.
You are, because
am I also adding +3 for the skilled at creating repairing technology?
Yes, it is. You got a +4.
Good.
Wow.
A decent chance.
You almost could do this as a planned action, just taking half the value, but you're pushing yourself.
No,
you really want something cool.
Something
Sounds
spectacular. Good. Here we go.
There we go. Good luck.
So that does include the 1. So +3 on top of that is an 11.
Okay, an 11 means that you, by looking at our rules, and again, this is a thing. So there's actually some suggestions for how much you suggest you go higher than. So row 57. So the +1 to +4 greater than your target number. The character succeeds, but not impressively. They shouldn't gain any benefits beyond the mere success. They get to narrate their success. So what do we see that's impressive about these jet boots that you have?
So I think the impressive thing, and I'm not even sure Karwu intended this, but where everyone's little jet thrusters are just sort of like compressed air. Karwu has almost like a rainbow of colors around him now, as his jets are firing off in multiple directions. He, the whole there is a dance floor under his feet thing is maybe not translating with all of the other motion, but people are definitely, I think, looking his way, because he's got almost like confetti coming out of his jetpack in multiple directions as he's doing the spin with his fingers pointed out.
That sounds awesome. So yeah, you hop into the 0G, you're doing some crazy spins. We see little bits of confetti coming from the jet boots. You're not sure if it's in Karwu's head or in actuality, but from Karwu view, we see people looking amazed by this. And of course, the confetti kind of floats out in this nice little diaphanous way. And through that, we see walking around on the ring, right? We see that there is a purgator, a man wearing the robes of a purgator sales priest. And we realize that Deneb Pifan, who is an Athorian, is here. And Karwu, you haven't clocked him yet. So we pop over to the contest between Zyra and Ivory. So let's see. I think a difficulty of beating Ivory is really your main challenge here. So I think Ivory's pretty good at this. She is nimble and quick, and she somehow has one of those little backpack, with the two. I'm imagining that the backpack itself is just it's more almost like a little baby vest, right? And the two little jets that come off of it look very, like Jetsons, those little very retro style jets. So that means that she moves a little quicker than you, since Zyra, you have deigned not to. So I'm going to say that your difficulty success in this is I'm going to say it's going to be an 11 is your difficulty.
Ooh.
So it's a task where success is impressive.
Okay.
So we will see how this goes. Maybe setting difficulties too high. We'll find out. I think flight is what you want to
I
use?
think so too. Yeah, because it's steel, right? Likely verbs, drive, fly, maneuver, pilot, run, or steal, all of that. So I have a D20. And +1 because I'm a Siberian and we are nimble. But we'll
You're
see.
not in a space. You're not in a spaceship, so your skill
No,
doesn't kick in here.
even if I was in a space. No, even in a spaceship, I wouldn't have made it. I've got a 6.
Oh, nice. So the good news is that you get what's called an adversity token.
Yay.
Do you feel like impatient was influencing your activities here?
It probably was
I think
because,
so too.
I was impatient to get to this before Ivory could get there. I had to really have this. Damn, and now she has it. Ugh. And I've bumped into this Duro.
That's right. You end up bumping into the Duro, and it works out perfectly because she just lifts the chain off of his head, and he looks down at you, right? Because you kind of bumped up into him, and he looks down at you, grabs your little furry shoulders, and he says, "What are you?"
I'm dancing, man.
And then he grabs at his chain. What? Did you take my chain? And he's holding you by one shoulder.
How would I have taken your chain? I mean, I'm here, right?
And he starts looking you over. He like kind
of
pulls you up where you float past him, and he grabs your ankle. And he's trying to pat you down. What do you do?
He does not care. I'll push him away, and I kind of punch him in the face, maybe a little.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, come on. He can't just grab me and then kind of. No, I don't like
You're
that.
right. This is a bad touch. I don't disagree.
No.
So let's have you roll a fight. I'm going to say your difficulty on this is a lot easier.
Okay.
So we're going to say 3. We're going to say the difficulty is a 5.
5. Okay. Cool. Still a D8. So I could spend an adversity token, but I can spend that after the roll, right?
Sure.
Cool. Then I roll and see what's what. I've rolled a 7.
Ooh, you've rolled a 7. Fantastic.
I also rolled another D20. I shouldn't have, but I did the 8 is pretty
That's fine.
I've rolled a 7.
It's that D20 is just there to make you look more impressive.
Yeah. No, it's not, but it was just a 5 on the D20.
Oh, but a 7 on the D8, and that's what matters. All right, so a 7 means you're +2 on it, and again, the character succeeds, but not impressively. So you shouldn't gain any benefits beyond mere success. But your intent was to like not kick to hurt him, but kick to like knock him away and free yourself.
And
he floats back a little bit.
Make pretty plain that I do not appreciate being grabbed by some random Duro.
Yeah, so he does the like floating back thing, his legs are popped up and he pops into one of the little rails there, but it's not so hard that it's like gonna break in there or anything.
No, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to make clear that I didn't like.
I think Ivory grabs onto your, I don't know, dress, vest, jacket. What is?
I think a jacket might be vest.
Cool.
I like vests. Vests are cool.
Vests are awesome. So she kind of grabs hold of your vest and does a like nudging you forward, trying to send you. We got to get out of here. This is really expensive. She says as she's stuffed that piece of jewelry into her like. She's got a vest like you, right? She totally loves your vest. So I
look at her and say, "Hey, chill out, girl. Nobody's seen you."
You sure?
Okay, and if you act all suspicious, then they'll grab you. But if you act chill, it's gonna be fine.
Ooh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, cool.
Fine. I mean, look over there. That's an alien I've never seen before. Let's check that out. Is that an alien or is that a glass of?
It's an alien. Are you happy to see me? No. Cool. So you talk Ivory down, and she doesn't just up and run away. The Duros is still pretty convinced that maybe you stole his his chain, but you know, we'll see how that goes. We'll cut down to Marseille.
Okay. So I did see the swing go on, and it was a thing where Marseille like stands up and actually puts one of her boots on the booth, like she's gonna do the jump on the table and dive into the thing. But then it like calms down and she looks a little disappointed. She sits back down.
And yeah, you do that. So you're kind of half standing on the booth in the Mary Allen. He says, "Oh wow, nice moves," Garen says, and yeah, I think Sero clocks what you were interested in, and he's just watching it a little bit, and so you all miss the Ithorian sliding in behind your booth behind Sero. And in that deep, rumbling, like two-mouthed Ithorian voice, it says, "Greetings and blessings upon you. Are you not the captain of the Gundark?" Hmm.
And I leaned back and I'm like, at first I'm a little startled, but then she does the cool thing and she puts her arm on the back of the booth again, like behind Garen, and she sort of looks over and she goes, "I am."
Such blessings unto you for recovering such a wondrous Old Republic ship. But it turns out that, unfortunately, it seems that we have a lien upon this ship from the original owner. And then he reaches and he produces this small data pad. And you see legalese, like literally, like when the camera pans in, it just says legalese a bunch of times. And he zips past that and shows you like there are pages upon pages of there is evidently a lien on the Old Republic ship that you guys have recovered.
And I think she stops because she knows that these guys are always doing weaselly things like that. And she goes, "Oh, well, give me that. I'll forward it to the family lawyer." And she essentially takes it and she emails it off to like where she sends all the junk mail thing. And she goes, "He'll be in contact with you."
Oh, really? So you're just going to give him the brush off?
Exactly.
Man, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think he's just he's used to this, right? Oh, yes, of course. I understand. I am well aware of where it is that your wonderful ship that is in actuality most likely the ship of the Great Church of Perceptions.
Not yet
I'm aware of
established.
where it's docked. I'm aware of where it is docked. I would recommend that in the next 3 standard hours that you vacate all of your personal belongings off of the ship before we take possession of it. Have a blessed day. And he turns and starts to walk away.
Mm.
And Sarah
Yeah,
says,
actually,
"Ooh, trouble."
yeah, may actually have to forward that to the family lawyer. And I think she's like, "Oh, you got 3 hours. That's a really long time."
Karwu, you've amazed the crowd. You are the shining jewel of this 0G dance kind of column. As you're basking in all the wonderment from everyone, you happen to catch that there is an Ithorian sales priestess walking away from Marseille.
Yeah. I think Karwu is doing whatever the 0G conga is, leading the line, right, with the multiple jets sticking out. And as we make a pass around this 0G bubble, sees the Ithorian priest get up, possibly even recognizes Deneb, and like spins off and does a twist, gives like the thumbs up to everyone behind him, and falls out of the bubble. And it's now time for Karwu to lean into that flaw. What? What was Deneb doing here? How did Deneb find us? What did you say, Mar?
And her two himbos are both like, whoa, who's this guy?
And Mar's like, the usual thing. They claim they own the ship.
Yeah, they do.
And she says, what?
When did he say that we have any time?
Well, 3 hours. I mean, tons of time if you want to dance.
That's not enough time to get all of our stuff off the ship. And Carwoo's gonna like rush over and grab whatever legalese or he left the like a digital
yeah.
thing,
Let's say
right?
he left the data pad, right?
Yeah.
have several
Scrambling through the
copies.
data pad, just scrolling and scrolling, reading as fast as he can. Oh, we'll never make this much. Oh,
It's so much. So very much money. Yeah, I think it's a thing where Deneb has said, you may have this data pad with all of the legalese. I have many copies more back at my temple ship.
Right. And then he charged us for it, right?
More.
So-
And there is a small surcharge.
And she's sort of, her brow raises and she's like, you mean he actually has a claim?
yes.
Then we better go.
Yeah.
And then we hear like a couple of blurps from our astromech droid, and it's of course, and I told you so.
Oh.
So sweet, you guys are thinking about leaving. What about Zyra and Ivory?
We'll wave them over. I mean, cool. I'll be cool when I walk to the railing and
Of course.
give them the signal.
Yeah, I'll float over with the help of this one Togruden who's floating around a bit uncoordinated, and I'm just grabbing him, touching the jetpack up and pushing him into the direction I want to go. And while he's still struggling to figure out where he's going and what's happening, I'll just jump off and make a roll and land in front of Mar. Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
That was fun.
and she kind of goes, someone's got a claim on our ship. Just found out, and I'm hoping that, well, we've got 3 hours to get our stuff off the ship.
Yeah, I think we've got 3 hours to get our ship off the ship, the station,
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
So okay, that means we've still got 3 hours to party
That's
a lot.
what I was thinking, but Carr was having a terrible time with this.
Yeah, okay. I mean, okay, let's go. I mean, this party was fun, but I've seen what I've seen, so. What's going on, Carvu? Chill
I will
out.
help Ivory down from the railing,
Mhm.
like, hand up and.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
very thankful. Oh, thank you ever so much, Captain Marseille. She's definitely the kind of person that knows to suck up to get what she wants. I'm giving you a 100% adversity token, Carwu, for kind of the wet blanket here. So please take that and enjoy it. You've earned it. Sweet. So what do you guys think? Think the next scene is you guys moving across the spaceport from this little club to try to...
I wave to the Duro while we're going.
Yeah, the Duro waves back. He's not sure about that. And then I think Ivory like waves his necklace at him and laughs, and then he gets angry. So you guys have to run off and duck through some alleyways. So you come through the spaceport. There are a bunch of ships that are docked down here. The spaceport at Aderlon is like there are these open fields where people just land, and there's sections set up. It's the cheapest place to land at Aderlon. Just imagine like this giant airfield. Effectively, there are actual hangars in case you need to do actual work. And maybe Carbu, did you go with the cheap option, or are you guys actually in a hangar with the Gundart?
Oh, we went with the cheap option. We're like on a radial arm kind of thing.
Sweet. And yeah, when you guys are headed over that way, you see that there are these like signal batons that flash that are set around where the Dreaming Gundark has been, where you've landed, and these little flashing things. And as you come closer, you say, you hear a voice, an automated voice, "Greetings and blessings to all of you. This ship is now the property of the planet of Purgator and the Church of Infinite Perception. Have a blessed day." Mort, 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 mort.
Can we just, I mean, I'm talking to the others, can we just rip these off and throw them out and take our ship and leave? Or, I mean, I'm not a mechanic. Is that kind of lock on our ship? Or is that just the priest being priesty?
I mean, is this a boot, essentially? It's going to keep us from taking off? Or
There is actually a boot on the landing gear, like one of the landing gear. If you've seen the movie Solo, they booted the Millennium Falcon at one point. It's effectively what's happened here.
So we should get rid of that.
Car was like wiping a flop sweat.
The guy was like, "Oh, this seems like big trouble. Steal another ship that isn't booted."
this is our ship. We're stealing this ship.
Yeah,
How do we steal this ship? And she looks at Karwu.
We need to get the boot off, right? Come on, you can do it.
The gangway starts coming down, and your astromech just goes up and into the ship.
Okay.
You can do this, buddy.
And it was Marseille who handed me tools earlier, right? Mm-hmm. So Karwu is like, okay, Mar, I need a Corellian hydrospanner. Only the Corellian will do.
Right. And and so they'll pull down that tool, section from under the ship, and she will reach for the Corellian spanner. Here you go.
This is going to be a difficulty of the unlucky 13 if you want to remove this boot.
Okay. This is brains?
Yeah, it's a brains.
And this is... Does this include the creating and repairing technology, or is this technically...
Oh, yeah, I think you're creating and repairing technology here. You're kind of repairing to work less. Sabotage.
And I can use adversity... Sorry, I can use adversity... Yeah, go ahead.
Is this a planned action, so can other people help?
Yes, other people can help you.
Okay, cool.
And how does that work?
Cool. So, help.
We have to spend adversity tokens.
Yes, the other players may spend adversity tokens to help you with the same +1 benefit. It looks like that's it. It's just a +1 on the value set.
It's like Karks. Okay. All right, here we go with the roll. Hey, that's not bad. That's as good as I can do. That's an 11, and then I get +3 from
the skill
thing. So that beats it by 1.
Wow.
Karwu's good at this, but he doesn't like being good at this. And I think...
and I'm like, you're a natural, Karwu.
I think the sad truth of it is that Karwu, like, only the Corellian spanner will do because it's the only one that's hardened enough, and he just hacks at the joint and just repeatedly beats it enough to the point where it splits open and like the requisite sci-fi gas blows out the top of it. And then he's scrambling to try and figure out if Deneb has put anything else on the ship, tracking devices or anything along those lines.
Oh, do you specifically want to look around for some tracking devices?
Yeah.
That seems to be a good idea.
I think I'm starting the ship up while he's looking for that, because I mean, we can fly off.
Sure, and as you're flipping on a bunch of toggles to get the pre-flight checks going through. You immediately receive a comm bleep, which, of course, your astromech, who we should name, I realize we haven't named, your astromech patches it through because that's their job.
This is Aderlon Control. Captain, I'm sorry, but this ship is currently impounded.
That's Mars' problem. I'm starting the ship. I'm looking to her. Mar, can you take care of these guys? Or should I just try to bullshit them?
Yeah, and I think, let's see here. I will, geez, my options here. I think she'll go, the ship's being transferred. And she said you should have those orders. And she's like looking at Zyra to like speed things up. But she just starts spinning a thing of like an order, you know, essentially a transfer order and those things. So she knows exactly what they look like and all that stuff. So
you're just trying to con them.
I am conning them.
Everything's
yes.
fine. It's all fine here.
Fine. Exactly.
How are you? Yes. Okay. Got it.
How are you?
I think you're trying to charm them, right?
Oh no. Okay,
Is that
sure.
what social depth
Yes, yes. I do not understand the captain stats, but I think it makes for
I
good
don't
plays.
either. Like a 20 in grit? Like,
all I'm good at is wrestling, apparently, but let's do it.
actually, your brawn is terrible.
I know.
You're really good at grit, like good at rolling with, dodging, taking punches.
Good brains.
Yeah, that's true. You D12 of brains. There's that. You're smart. Book smart.
As smart as all of us.
Let's see. What's our difficulty here? I think we're looking at navigating through an asteroid belt with compromised thrusters. Conversation on new language, only a few weeks of focused immersive study. Task where success is impressive but completely expected for those skilled at it. Yeah, I think Aderlon is going to be putting an 11 difficulty for you on this roll. So you better hope your charm explodes.
Okay, well, let's give it a try then. Oh no, it's a 1.
Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations. Give yourself an adversity token. Good job.
Only 1?
I think were you trying to be dashing here?
Of course.
Okay, 2
I was like,
adversity
yeah.
tokens.
I'm going to take care of this.
Thank you very much, Captain, but unfortunately, the ship is still impounded, and we're sending some security personnel to help make sure that you exit the ship immediately.
I think I'm telling them, hey, maybe send them quickly because we're off, and I'm starting the ship.
Ooh, nice. So you're planning on taking off. So as you guys, you're basically trying to gun the engines and get out off of Aderlon. Karwu, you've successfully released the boot.
Yeah, I don't think I have time to look for tracking devices at this point.
I don't think so either. Yeah,
I think he hears the back and forth with control, and they're like, we're sending security forces, and there's the shot of him like ducking in through the ramp. He's like, they're what? Ah! And then the engines fire, and he's just scrambling up the ramp as it closes. Yeah.
Nice. And when you get to the top of the ramp, you see that there's a human and a human male and a Twi'lek female who you maybe recognized from the club. Like maybe you saw the Twi'lek girls because she seems super impressed with your boots.
They were with Mar, right?
Yeah, well, the guy was with Mar. Yeah,
okay.
This is them. I just wasn't sure how much he might have picked up with who was hanging out with Mar. But yes, Sarah and Dia are
I recognize Sarah, yeah.
Yeah, you recognize Sarah. And Dia says, "Oh, it's the guy with the boots. I was telling you about the boots. I love these boots. You have to make me some boots." And Sarah says, you guys are still taking passengers, right?" And the ramp closes. He says, "Oh, I guess that's a yes."
Absolutely. Welcome to the Sleeping Gundark, the Dreaming Gundark.
Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, that's when Zero, as you're starting to take off, right? The ship starts to take off. You hear a screaming alarm, like, weep, 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 and you see that there is a turret that's actually turning its guns towards you guys, and you're hearing over the comms.
We apologize, but we are authorized to use near to lethal force to keep this ship from leaving. Please land.
Oh, I'll answer. I don't think so. Bye, guys.
Nice. So you're just gonna take off, but guess what? Taking
Sure.
off is a thing you're really good at, which is great because they're shooting at you.
Oh, nice.
They are shooting
Mhm.
ion. This is an ion blaster, right? So this like charging up, and there's a couple of these long
Mhm.
electrical arcs that are coming towards you.
Mhm.
Avoiding these guys is extraordinary, right? I think that's a nice unlucky 13 for you.
Okay, let's see. Now I've got a +3, and if I take half of my flight, that would put me at 13. So I'll spend an adversity token to activate my Nerve Steel,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Okay.
I'm at 13.
Oh, that's nice. So you can spend take half your dice value instead of
Yeah,
rolling on a snap decision. Because I was about to
sure.
say, I think this isn't a, but yes, you have a thing, so you
Yeah.
get to do it. So that's great.
Yeah.
I love your ship roll of surprise decorations.
And here's the thing is when the ions are coming there, Mar like starts like scream, the scream thing, and then like as we actually manage to miss it, it stops abruptly.
I think it's
Oh.
it's. Whoa! I thought we were screwed. So the gun dart kind of you bank hard, and one goes underneath, and the other goes right off top. You just thread the needle perfectly, Zyra, and then boom, you're taking off, throwing in You've got a lot of thrusters here, right? So you're throwing it into overdrive, but
Did
then
I
you're
ever
what?
tell you about how my pa won the Battle of Celeste? Because that's how he won the Battle of Celeste.
And I yelled, "Tell it again!" So as we, yes.
I think Karwu is in we just scrambled up the ramp, and Sarah and
Yeah.
are like in front of him, and I think as Zyra pulls off this maneuver, like the inertial dampeners are not on yet, and they're kind of like thrown at me, and there's like a magic moment where our hands touch.
Cute. Oh yeah, and Dee is not. She is not a fainting violet. She will giggle lightly at that, and yeah, she likes that moment. Maybe you even see her Leku just kind of twitch a little bit in an encouraging manner. Then you guys are taken off. Maybe Dia and yes, I love that the Battle of Solace was mentioned. By the way, I just want to point that out.
It's actually our rallying cheer whenever we make a getaway. So that's it.
So you guys are headed towards the atmosphere of Adelon. See everything beneath you getting smaller, smaller, smaller. Sero, Dia, and Ivory all grab seats and buckle in because it's a little bit of a rough ride. Zyra, as soon as you leave the atmosphere and hit into space, you're hailed by two of the Adelon Planetary Defense Force starfighters, advising you to, effectively pull over. What do you do?
You want to talk to them more?
And she sort of pulls forward and she says, I'm sorry. We'll we'll pull over, and she'll like give a thing of where they're gonna go, and she's just looking at Zyra to let Zyra get everything as set as she needs to. Again, just a little bit of a delay.
Okay, and I'll tell the droid to spool up the hyperdrive.
Sweet. And as you start spooling up the hyperdrive, your ship is hit. Like they fire warning shots, which actually connect. And I think Karwu, you see that one of the engines starts to fail. What do you do?
Scream, and then so yeah, I have a moment holding hands right with Dia, and then and then running off to the engineering where the sparks and smoke have flown out, and I'm immediately going to try and patch this together because we've made this maneuver a couple times when things get a little heated and people don't totally get our transponder signals. So I'm trying to juice the engine just to get it through the jump.
All right. We're going to call it a lucky 7, but it is a snap decision. So
okay. And this is still brains?
It is still brains.
Okay, here we go. Oh, no.
That
not
is
so great.
Not great.
Not great at all. 3, even with that's a 6. I'm sorry, what was the difficulty again?
It was a lucky 7, so you need a 7.
Lucky 7, so I'm right underneath.
Right.
Do you have an
actually, no, that includes the modifier. That's a 5. That's a 5. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh man.
You've got wait. Let me think this through. Okay, you've got +3 from the improvement, +1 from the brain, right?
Yeah, that's 4, and I rolled a 1. That's 5.
You rolled a 1. That's 5. Okay, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad. 5 because we could spend adversity tokens here, and we could help you to get it up to a 7 because we really need that ship.
Yeah, I have lucky. I can spend 1 adversity token to have a reroll on a stat check. That would help. You got to roll better than a 1, right?
Does that only apply to Mar though?
I don't know.
It doesn't say. Like it literally. That's all it says.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm happy to say that this is a luck that you can share. I just need to know how Mar's luck kicks in to help out Karwu.
I think the thing is that
I want Karwu to be aware that there's something that Mar.
Yeah, and I think what it is that the comms are open, and Mars says to Zyra, "Oh, don't worry, Karwu's got this," and it's just that kind of thing of yeah. It's just utter faith from Mar.
Sweet. Make 1 more roll.
I will re-roll.
And she leans back in her chair and puts her feet up on the dashboard, like around the board, just like everything's going to be okay.
Super casual.
Yes,
super casual.
And
that is a 6 with the rest of it makes it math mornings.
Yes, it's
higher
good.
Than a 7.
Higher than a 7. I think, Zyra, what happens for you up at the front is you imagine that the hyperdrive is one of those, like you pull the lever down type deal. So it sticks for a little bit and you see the little indicator light turns yellow as like a little bit of a warning. Is Zyra the kind of person that will wait and yell, or you just slam it forward anyway?
I just slam it forward anyway and yell.
Nice. So you slam it forward and there's a stutter and then you get thrown into hyperspace. As you do, you hear in basic, the bleeps from your astromech droid informing you, I had not fully input all of the astrogation coordinates. We will likely fly into a sun if you ever do this again. We may do that now. The chances of us making it through this safely to the
Never tell me the odds. Never tell me the odds.
And you shut down the astromech, and you guys are in hyperspace. So you like zip away, and we cut to the Adelon Planetary Defense Force, and they kind of look at each other through their starfighters. Mark it off. This one's on you. Me. I shot their engine. So, sweet. So you guys are in hyperspace. I think we've got time for maybe like 1-2 more scenes. We'll just have all of those take place while you guys are in hyperspace, and we'll pick up with where you guys end up as our bit. So what do? You've gotten into space, the final frontier.
Yeah, I think we'll fight each other, and I say, well, that was more fun than I thought it would be, but what was exactly going on with these priest guys? Why is that their ship? Or why do they think it's their ship?
Mars stops and goes, oh, they make a claim on everything. I mean, it's blanket legalese. And kind of goes through the pad, see if they can find anything that gives you a hint of what the actual claim is.
Oh,
So, Karwu,
The sales priests think that everything on the surface of the planet is theirs. And I may not have gotten total clearance when I took the Dreaming Gundark off of the surface. And they have a sort of interest system with borrowed property. There's penalties for when you don't ask permission. And yeah, so like in a court, yeah, the Dreaming Gundark belongs to the sales priest.
Well, there's always the chance that we can find something that is a technicality. For instance, this is the surface of the planet. Didn't you unearth this?
I hadn't thought of it like that, but
Right, it's beneath the surface of the planet.
Also, this thing didn't originate on the planet, right? That just went there and got landed, but they can't claim everything that landed on their planet is theirs. That's not how this works, right? It's just, it's probably somebody else's property, maybe not yours, but certainly not theirs.
prior ownership might get us out, but then then we might find out that they're worse than the sales priests.
Oh, we can totally make up prior owners. That's not a problem.
That would be illegal.
Oh my God, no! How could we ever do something illegal?
Mars is like, okay, let's start with the thing. We'll go and make sure that you've got an appropriate mining license for Purgator and that you've essentially mined the ship. I think that will be our first tactic. Sound good?
Sounds boring. I'll play out.
I'm all for establishing prior owners
Mm-hmm. It's a lot,
as a
lot
fallback.
better. Mm-hmm. It's a lot better. Hey, we could tie this into the old Republic stuff, and then they got taken over by the Empire, and then they got taken over by the Republic again, and there's a lot of bureaucracy there. And bureaucracy can be your friend if it's confusing enough.
Truth.
Where are we going, Sarah, that we're gonna get these prior
Yeah, we're all
owners?
like, we have no idea.
I don't know. I mean, the droid, the Gundam droid, they didn't really, they said they didn't know. Maybe we're going into a sun. But maybe not, probably not. We're not going into a sun, Karu. That was a joke. I think. No, hyperspace is weird.
Cool. So R15, we're going to call it R15N, your astromech droid. So now it has a name. My brain breaks if I don't have names for things. Yeah, I think that sounds good. So you guys all have this conversation while you're in hyperspace. Sero and Dia Bonduna, they'll come up to you, Mar, because you're effectively the captain.
I am the captain.
And Dia says, we talked, well, Sero mentioned the booking passage, right? right? You did that, didn't you, Sarah? He says, I was getting to it. We didn't
And
officially talk.
where are you going?
Well, off of Adelon was the
Oh.
primary. We'd like to
Done
end
that.
up at Eliad if we could, but I'm not sure where we're headed right now.
Neither are we. So
Okay. Well, we'll just work that out after the. I've heard that your cabins are excellent. Is that right?
they are. So you would like to book passage?
Yes, I would
Okay.
very much.
And she just reaches above and brings down a contract. Really.
Nice. And Dia says, we'll be getting separate rooms. And she smiles, glances over towards Karawu.
Or woo. Sure.
Sweet.
We'll get
So-
them all set up.
Awesome. You get them set up, no problem whatsoever. And yeah, were there any other scenes you guys wanted in hyperspace?
I do think that you do see Mars like kind of step away and take the data pad and sort of very seriously pull that information up and start putting it together like that she is going to submit it to a lawyer when the time comes, when they come out of hyperdrive.
Of course. What about Karawu?
Oh man, I think Karwu is prettying up the hasty patch that he had to make to the engines, and other than that, stressing about traveling into the heart of a star. But you know, Zyra keeps saying that it's going to be fine. So
Cool. And what about Zyra?
I think I just might poke at Carvo about the heart of the star thing, really. And I'm keeping my eye out on ways to exit the hyperspace in a safe way, maybe. I mean, I'm a hitchhiker. I've seen stuff like that done, and you can also get pushed out by Pergil, but maybe not. Wait for that. But
Sweet.
pushing myself out of hyperspace, I think it's possible. So, if not exactly comfortable.
So before you pull yourself out of hyperspace, Karawu, you're fretting over the engines, worried about ending up in the heart of a star, and you see this little blinking thing that's magnetized and stuck right to your sublight engine, and you pull it off. Sure enough, this is a tracking beacon. And it has like a little prayer kind of inscripted around the base of it. Some kind of scripture about for all those who are lost can be found. Church of Infinite Perception.
yeah, Karwu is gonna take that, disconnect it, and maybe modify it to put on some other ship at some point.
Cool. All right. So you modify that? Yeah, I think it's a thing where you could planned action. You can take half and go ahead and disconnect that. So Zyra, you pull the ship out of hyperspace, and immediately klaxons are going crazy because you are already through the atmosphere of a ship, of a planet. Like you're already through the atmosphere. Like you pulled out, and you can see gigantic, like 400-meter high trees, and you're already headed towards it. And I think that is where we will end this session. You're like pulling out, weep, 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 weep. And it's just the sea of trees beneath you, and the Gundark is hurtling towards. And that will be the end of our session. What is Mar? Is Mar do a screen? I hate to
I
cue
think
up. Screen.
I just think you see when the klaxons come off, Mar leans into the pilot's area and goes, "Oh, awesome! All right," and goes to sit down next to her.
See, not a heart of a star at all.
Oh, no.
Karwu, it happens just as Karwu removes the tracking beacon that all of the klaxons go off. So,
Oh, yes,
yes.
yes, that's the perfect timing. Sweet. So let's see. There are no post-session rules for this, so we just end. We'll do our post-game feedback if you guys are cool with that. So let's
We take a quick bio break.
let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and pause. Hit a button. Sweet, we're back. We're going to do a quick round of stars and wishes, and then everybody gets to go. Oh, we're at time because I wasted a little bit of time between the break. So if you need to go, it's totally okay. Just go. You go, you do you. It's okay. But anyone who'd like to stay, I'd love to hear your stars and wishes. We'll start with wishes. Wishes include any, like, this part of the system seems a little wonky wishes. I wish that I had some clarity on X or Y. But also wishes of, I really want us to do this thing, or I'd like to see blah in action. And so that's what I'd like from wishes. We'll start with Sherry.
Let's see here. Okay, so wishes. Let's see. I am super enjoying this. This feels like a group that's kind of gelled pretty quickly, and I'm happy to go anywhere y'all want to go. I would love to, at least by the end of the session, get a hint of something ominous about all these ships from the old Republic. We don't have to have that as the main thing, but I would love to have that, like, as we come out of it, that starts to come down.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a really interesting thing, and it ties in so well to the ancient ship that you've created. So I definitely want that to pay off as well. Thank you. Sabine, what wishes did you have?
Yeah, I'll echo Sherry that this was a lot of fun, and I have no gripe with the system so far. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of swingy systems, but that was okay because you get points that are nice if you fail something, so that's fine. I would like to have some idea. There are all these questions at the end of our character things, and I would like to have them answered. I don't know how that would work, but still, I like the questions, and I've thought a lot about the whole traumatic loss thing. So
Yeah, and I think I got us in a rush to jump in and play, but I do very much want these questions answered. So if you do it between sessions, that's okay. I would really like to see what these answers are so that we can work them into the play as well. Thank you for highlighting that, Sabina. I really appreciate that.
Another wish I have, I would love to see Marseille's family thing come into play a bit, because I mean, background, that's important and interesting, and family is always interesting.
Family is always interesting. The Say family, big corporate family. She's like is she the youngest? This just to kind of run off of money? Oh, that's great. That's great. I really like that. Good stuff. Thank you, Sabine. Those are great wishes. Greg.
Same wish with the questions at the bottom. And then I do want to see Karwu do something not with his brains.
Yeah.
You know, I know I'm A-okay because it if we don't start with Karwu doing mostly repairs, then he won't have an arc, right? So that's just something. And then I'm just really into all of those rumors. The temple, the ships, the race. I like that as a beginning of session technique too. That was just kind of a nifty little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm throwing you at one of the rumors right now. But yes,
excellent.
We'll be hitting another rumor as well. I think that's a really interesting tool. Before we move out of wishes, I just want to throw out, how do you guys feel about me allowing you to swap to stat dice now that you have a vibe for what your character's like? Because to me, a 20 in grit sucks.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
I don't love it. And having two people with 20 and D20s in flight, to me, also seems like a missed opportunity for a 3-person group. So I just want to throw out, I I am perfectly willing to removing the VLOOKUPs things and letting you guys move one die, swap out a die for another die. You guys cool with that?
Okay,
That's
yeah.
back. I'm doing it right
We
now.
can.
I'm gonna
check-
flip charm and flight. Actually, I think Karwu is strangely charming.
I love it. I'm into it. Cool. So you now should be able to the VLOOKUP things, you should be able to move those around, or just type them in. I don't care. Just whatever you want. Sweet. Good. So Greg, you had to go last
Hey.
for wishes. You get to go first for stars.
Stars. Oh gosh, so many stars. I love the little found family we have. That we're being chased by Black Sun is great. And I'm not worried like I have been in other games sometimes where there's like a collective playbook that we're all like that the pilot's not going to have anything to do or things like that, which is great. I'm super excited.
Cool. Thank you, Greg. Sabine, what stars did you have?
I love all these characters. They're so much fun. And the whole setting is so much fun. Like Greg coming up with this ship that we all have. We as teenagers, we have a ship. Yay! And we're going to do good stuff with it. That conceit of the game, that is just the best. And I love Mar with her. Yeah, and let's do the legalese. That's our captain. Yeah, that's not very dashing though, is it?
Damn it.
I would absolutely love to see her try to go and be more, not more, she's tried to see this kind of dichotomy, because she's really a thinker, I guess, and then she wants to be dashing. I like that. That's a lot. That's great.
It is.
Oh, and Greg, I love the whole overly dramatic stuff. That was so good. Such a great flaw.
Yes, that I agree. Completely agree.
Yeah, we all leaned way into our fatal flaws, which I love.
Yeah, the fatal flaw was a nice addition. I wish there were more like mechanical benefits for it in a way, but we were talking about stars. Sherry, what about you? What stars did you have?
Wow. Oh, we just dropped in. I love the concept. I love the thing of we're teenagers and we have teenage clients for the most part, and just that kind of crazy, like we're getting away with this dream of every teenager in space, right? So it is super fun. I did switch. So brains is my big thing, D20. Grit is D12. She will throw herself in between. Again, very smart, desperately wants to be dashing. And I think, I don't know, I just love these characters. They work really well together and the setup was perfect and the rumors were good. It's like got all the elements. So very excited, super excited.
Yeah, and this is like, is this a 5-shot if I remember correctly? So we're going to get to do a lot. This is going to be awesome. I'm really stoked. I love how you guys worked well to cover some bases to make a functioning crew. There's a part of me where I'm like, is 3 PCs enough? Like, should I? But I really wanted to stick it to a little bit more like intimate, just 3 players, because I love some of the things that come out of that. And I really feel like it's paying off, which makes me happy. So
It's a
can't wait
5-session game, Rich, but I'm not there for the middle one.
Oh, okay. Cool. We'll just mourn your character's death. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got to run Dresden files, so.
Oh, that's right. You're Dresden files. Dang it, Dresden! How dare you get in our way, Dresden? You're always making trouble. Sweet. That is no problem. Awesome. So I will bring this to a close. So we got everything. So I'll bring this to a close. Thank you all so much for playing Star Wars Saturdays Teens in Space.